welcome to my YouTube channel. This is BNSF 6951, a Vinny Vid Productions video. Hi, I'm Vinny and I will be your host. This is a model railroad channel, so if you enjoy watching scratch builds, layout updates, and rail fanning, and lots of other stuff that pertains to model railroading, this is the channel for you. So if you like what you see, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And after you hit that subscribe button, don't forget to hit that bell. That'll give you a notification of any time I do a video or live stream. Anyhow, I'm going to ask you guys to do one more thing, and that is to give me the thumbs up. That will help my analytics with YouTube. I hope you enjoyed the video, so let's get going. First, a word from my sponsors. This Vinny Vid production brought to you by Yankee Dabbler. For all your model railroad needs, check out Yankee Dabbler. Don't forget, 7% discount with BNSF 6951. And by Highways and Byways, awesome street graphics for your roads and streets on your model railroad layout. If you guys are looking for sophisticated model railroad electronics, Logic Rail Technologies has what you need. For a 5% discount on certain items, use code BNSF 6951. Alright guys, now it's time for the next step on your layout. Trees! I have been dealing with Bob for 7 years now, and he does excellent work on his trees. So if you need some trees on your layout, check out Long Shadow's Trees. Tell him the Cuz sent you. Hey folks, glad you could make it into this video. We're going to start doing the angled roof on building number 2 in the Oxnard Travel Center. This is the hardest one because it's got 2 right angles along with 2 multi-angles. So it's taken me quite a while to get what I have gotten done so far. I started applying some of the roof material on here so it starts to look like it's supposed to look. Anyhow, with all that being said, let's get on with this video and we'll see how this goes. Be right back. Alright guys, we're going to start doing some of the roofing panels on this build right now. As you can see, I got the main building roof pretty much done. It just needs to be, adjusted and put together. And that roof is going to be removable as well as all the other roofs that on this build will be removable. So in order to get to this one, all the rest of them that are interlocked with this one have to come off first. Anyhow, I'm going to show you how I think I got the right angles because as you can see, I already have one of my roof panels cut out. Now I really don't know how I got to this, so I'm going to try a method right now and see if it actually works because this is what I think I did earlier. So what I did was I measured from where I want it on the roof to the end here with a little bit of overhang. And again, I'm using the metric system because it's just a lot easier for me to read it with my old age eyes. So right here, depending on where I want to go on the roof, I got 75 millimeters. So that's going to be our length, 75 millimeters. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that off. And I know it's upside down, but I want this edge here of the ruler to be on the edge. 75, so that's right there. Okay. Now, the next thing I did was I measured this. And that winds up to be 35 millimeters. All right, so we're going to come down 35 millimeters, and again, I'm using my mat, and on this piece of poster board, actually there is squares on there, so we'll be using those also. So I said 35 millimeters, and we'll come down to 35 millimeters, which is right here. Now, 35 millimeters was to here. We want a little bit of overhang. So we're going to go, let's say, to 30, let's go to 40, and we could always trim it down later, okay? So let's draw that line. So the line I just drew right now represents this angle right here. Now we're going to measure this angle in here. I mean, that distance in there, I should say. And that is 40 millimeters right on the schnozola. So we'll take out 40 millimeters. I got so much junk in my way. Over here, actually, let me see if we can see it better there. No, you can see it better here. All right, so we're going to take out 40 millimeters, and we're going to come in here again. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually make this a square. So we're going to come down to 35 millimeters again. Now, I should have put this further back so I have more of an angle right there. So we had like 37 millimeters right there. Okay, so let's draw a line there. Now, we have the basic configuration of the square down here. Now, the trick is how far up here do I want to go with my angle? So whatever it is, we just go from the corner here to, let's just say, let's do actual measurement. Let's say we're going to go up about 20 millimeters. So let's go up 20 millimeters. Let's put a little tick mark right there. Now, like I said, I should have made this a little bit bigger, but you get the idea. I think this is how I did it. I'm not sure, but I thought I'd just give it a try while I'm doing a video and see if it actually works. Okay, now that we've got our basic cut out, and again, I don't think this length here is going to be good enough. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Let me turn this guy around a little bit, and maybe a little here. I'm trying this fourth camera, and I want to see if I can get it to work. All right, let's move this out of the way for now. All right, so you can see my basic square right there, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. And let's see how close we come to having this roof panel correct. Excuse me. Try and cut these as square. And I'm cutting it a little bit bigger than our line because, like I said, I want to have a little bit overhang on it. And we could always trim that down later. So we're going to cut that out there. And then we will cut it out here. And then we'll cut up to the triangle. I'm calling it a triangle. Wedge, whatever you want to call it. Cut down to our, oops, I slipped on that one. All right. And then finally, we'll cut out our little angle part. And hopefully, if I did everything right, this should, uh-oh, see, I'm backwards. I can't cut it this way. Let's do it this way. Now, I'm using poster board because I don't want to waste too much plastic. But once these are right, I will be cutting out a substructure and then the final roofing product. All right, I think we're through. We are. Now, if all things are created equal, this should fit on here, and it should be the right angle for the roof. And it looks like we're just a little bit off. But like I said, this is just a pre-trial. But as you can see, what I did with this one, if I put it on here, it fits perfect. So, yeah, so we need to get it down there to where it belongs, get them straight, and everything lines up perfectly. And I just need to trim it down. Of course, the building is not secure, it's not glued together yet, so it's not really square. So that's why I'm having a little bit of a problem to make sure everything is square. But you can see that that roof panel is going to work. Once I get it square, I can be able to push it down and get it glued down, get it to where it needs to be. Then I'm going to put some bracing inside the building. So this roof, like I said, will be removable. And there is a space right here. Here's the other half. It's not done to that measurement yet. But anyhow, there is a space in here, and there is some mechanical stuff that goes up in there. Like I think there's some air conditioning and maybe some other kind of mechanical stuff. But anyhow, that's how I'm going to do this roof. So stay tuned, and we'll see how far we can get with this. All right, guys, what you're looking at now is the temporary mock-up of the roof section for building number 3. So far, it's looking pretty good. Like I said, the building itself is not square because it's not glued together yet. And I'm not going to glue it together until I put the brick on there. It'll be a lot easier for me to do it that way rather than to try and do it when this building is actually constructed. Anyhow, Up there on the top, like you see that space right there, there is, and I'll show pictures of this, there is, I guess, a walkway or something up there that's got mechanical stuff sitting up there. So I'm going to also build that, and I also am going to put an air conditioning unit in that little space, as well as putting an air conditioner down below where it's supposed to be down here. And I don't know if you can see my cursor right now. You probably can't. But anyhow, I'm going to end this right now, and we'll see how much further I can go with this for this video. So stay tuned, and we will be back shortly. Alright guys and gals, now we're going to get the roof section for building number 2 on this building. I was able to get this one a little bit better because this building here is actually glued together right now. And it was basically the same as I did the other one. It depends on where the intersection is here, where this roof meets this roof, on what this angle is going to be, because all of these external buildings, the roofs actually sit under the eave of this roof right here. So this roof here is pretty much done. I just need to adjust it a little bit further, make this angle a little shallower, so this sits down a little further. But anyhow, once I get all of this adjusted, then I will start doing the sub-roof panels with plastic and gluing that together. And I got to figure out some sort of bracing to go under here, because like I said earlier, I want all of these roofs to be removed, because if he wants to put lighting in this building here, the only way he'll be able to get this roof off is to remove this one and one that's adjacent to this one, which is the breezeway, and then he has to remove this one back here, this one back here, in order to get the main roof off. Anyhow, with all that being said, stay tuned and we'll be back with a little bit more. Alright guys, we're going to take a break from doing the angles on the roof, because I did get this building's roof pretty much completed. And as you can see, I started putting the facade on there. It was very hard building to get the correct pitches on the roof and all of that stuff. Anyhow, in the picture you're going to see what has to be done. There's a lot of detail that goes along with this roof. So this is the building upside down. And this will be basically the foundation of the roof. So now, if you see in the picture, along here and along here and along all these edges, you'll see a continuation of the roof product, which is this stuff, right? Going down the side. So I have to try and replicate that. Now, I want to use something bigger than this, but the one I want to use was like, 2 feet or so, and if you look at the picture, I'm thinking that we're between 6 and 9 inches of the depth here. So I came up with this number 143, and it is 40 thousandths by 60 thousandths, which measures out to be about 9 inches in end scale. So with that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to start putting this stuff down on this building. We'll start here. And once we get this stripping down, we're going to take some plastic and cover that up, so it'll look like a ceiling when you look up at it. I'm just trying to follow the prototype as much as I possibly can. So with that being said, we're just going to go ahead and cut these. We're going to make them a bit longer than what they need to be, and I think this one here needs to get a little bit added to it. So yeah. So let's see. Let me mark this where it's got to go to. Right there. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and put this on here. I'm just going to cut them like I always do, just cut them rough, and then we'll trim it down later. So let's see, cut this guy rough right here. Alright, now we'll just start assembling this. Once we get this piece on, then we'll go ahead and measure the next piece, and so on and so forth. So anyhow, you get the idea. I will go ahead and do this one and show you how we're going to do this, and then the rest will be exactly the same. So, got my, I'm going to use my Model Masters glue this time. And let's see if we get a little bit better view on this camera. No, actually a little better here. Alright, so here we go. Now eventually This will not be glued down to the building because I want the roof to be removable. So with that being said, we need to be careful on how we glue stuff together here. Alright, so let's see. As I mentioned throughout this entire video, this series, I'm not good with math, so anything that has to do with numbers, where I have to start calculating all different sorts of numbers, that's out of my forte. I wish it wasn't. I wish I would have paid attention in school, but you know how that goes. All right. So basically, I got that piece on there, right there. And I'm going to let that dry up. And so the next piece will just go right up into that one. And then the same thing for down this side. And I'll probably put some alongside the building. So the piece of plastic that I put on top of this will have a sturdy foundation. Get the words out, Vinny. Alright, so roughly we can go ahead and cut this next one. Let's see. Maybe it would be better if we go to the other camera now. Yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and cut this piece. We're just going to kind of gently push it up against the one we just glued in there. And again, we're going to cut it long. And then we'll do the same thing for this side. We'll just make him long also. Alright, so basically, I'm going to go ahead and just put this all together right now, and we'll see how it turns out. Let's get that up against there. Alright, that looks okay. Alright, so the next piece I'm going to put in is this piece here. And then I'm going to put a piece alongside the wall in there also. And that'll give me like a lock of where this roof will go once he takes it off and puts it back on, whatever he wants to do. If he wants to add lighting or whatever. So let's go back to here. Okay. And so now we're going to do this piece right here. Just checking to see if we're flush up against here, and we are. So we'll give that a few minutes to dry. In the meanwhile, I'll cut a piece out for inside next to the wall. Now this one in here doesn't have to be exact because you're not going to see it anyhow. So I'm going to wait for this to dry up a bit before I put that piece in there. Only because I don't want the building to get stuck to it. So what I might have to do is stick a wedge under here. Well, let's first, I'll go ahead and put the glue on here. This is going to be tough. That's for very steady hands, and I don't think I have very steady hands, but we'll see. Uh-oh. No, you're not supposed to stick there. There you go. It wants to stick to the wall, and I don't want it to stick to the wall. I want it to stick to the floor. Come on now. I should actually go get my tweezers. That might make life a little bit easier. But I'm lazy right now. There we go. There we go. And I want to keep the building up a little bit. So just stick a little wedge under there for now. And we'll do the same exact thing for this side, and then I'll cut some, I'll use real thin plastic for the bottom here. I'll use like 20,000 the styrene sheets, and just go ahead and lay it down there. And then this building pretty much will be ready to accept the brick facade, which I happen to get, by the way. I'm not really happy with it, and I'm also doing some colors of the green for the roof, and I'll show you that here in a little bit also. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and go off camera right now and wait for this to dry up, and then I'll show you the next step. So stay tuned, and we will be back shortly. Alright guys, what you're looking at right now is the pre-assembled roof system for building number 2, which to me is the main entrance. The reason why is because, sorry about the arm, what goes in front of this is going to be the breezeway with its own roof that attaches to this roof. So what I've done so far was get this cut to the right angle, which is one of the angles I was talking about. So you had a 90 here, and then this was a compound angle here, and also a compound angle here. I did make a small little support that goes inside of here that will support the front hand, will support this, and it will support the piece that goes here. I'm doing the support here because I want him to be able to take this entire thing off and put lighting in if he wants to. So, with that being said, I already did this angle part right here, and if I put it right up against the bottom here, and by the way, I found it a lot easier to work with the roof part of this building on my mat, so I can secure it, precisely secure it the way I want, make sure it's square on all sides. And so we'll just take this guy and we'll fit him in there. And as you can see, that is a perfect fit right in there. And this is starting to look like a roof. Now, the final piece, this piece will go on top of that. And what I'm going to put down here on the seams, they do have, on the prototype, they do have some sort of a cap on here. I do not have this correct angle, so I'm just going to put a strip of styrene along these seams here to give it that effect. But anyhow, as you can see, that's looking pretty darn good if you ask me. The fit is perfect. I mean, it matches up on the bottom, it matches up on both sides, so I'm looking good, I think. So my next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to secure him to this guy, and then I'm not going to secure the support inside of here yet, not until I get this whole thing mounted on top of the building to see how it all works. Because as I start to say in the beginning of this video, that this part of the roof on the bottom side gets some extra detailing, so that I need to take care of also. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and glue this, and basically I'm just going to take my glue and just, let's see, let me move this camera back a little bit, maybe over here, there you go. I got this one camera on a small tripod, and so I'm able to move it around, which is pretty cool. I like that. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and smear a lot of glue on here. And I want to make sure I get along the edges real good. And it don't matter how you do it. And by the way, I did sand down all the edges on here to make sure that they were flat, so I get a nice, good fit. Ooh, getting the smell of the glue. Alright. Now I'll just take my piece, and I'll tell you, my fingers have lost so much dexterity, I can hardly grab things anymore. Alright, we're going to put him down there, make sure it was square, and for the next couple of hours, this guy is going to get weight. Yep, just going to have some weight on there. And I know I'm getting a little over crazy with this, but I just want that to make sure it sticks down really good. Anyhow, with all that being said, we'll be back in a little bit, and we might conclude this part of the video once I get this roof totally assembled, and maybe even work on the bottom side just to see if I can get that done also. So stay tuned, and we will be back in a little bit. Alright guys, as you can see, I got a perfect fit on the roof. Let me show you if I can tilt this up a bit. That's pretty dang good for a guy who doesn't know math too well. Anyhow, down here at the bottom, I need to touch up that brown paint around the archway there. But anyhow, what's going to happen next with this building is, well, let me first show you how this is going to look. We'll stick this guy in his place right there, and as you see, I had to notch the roof out to make that fit. And then this guy will fit right on top of him like that. And then we got, let's see if I can get you out any further. Basically, that's what we have right here. Twist it around a little bit. And you see the way it meets down here at the bottom over here is a real good meat. I like it. And now the next thing I'm going to do, and I don't think I'm going to do it in this video, but like I said, I'm going to do the bottom on here like I showed you guys earlier. And I'm also going to do the main building the same way because there is a molding that goes down here. And I'll just show you this piece, but this piece is like way too big. But anyhow, there's a molding that goes down here like this. And so I want to capture that detail on here, so that's why we're going to be doing that. And then also I'm going to try and do some drain down pipes because there is a gutter that runs along the entire perimeter of all the buildings I'm going to be building. So we'll have to see how that's going to work out. Anyhow, with all of that being said, stay tuned. Let me see what else we can get into here. I don't think it's going to be very much. So anyhow, let me see what else we're going to be doing. Be back in a little bit. Alright guys, when I took this job, I knew that there was one thing that was going to intimidate me the most, and that was going to be the roof sections because they're not only angled, but they're compound angles. So if you saw in the last clip that I showed you how I did this one, and it was definitely incorrect because when I put this on the building, part of it needs to go under the main roof, and I'll show you a picture of that. So what I did this morning was I taped all these little pieces on here to get the correct thing, you know, stick it on there, blah, 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 and I came up with this. Now, as you can see here, this will go under the main roof, and same thing on this side. So, with that being said, I'm going to show you how I do my cut and bend. This is the center line right here, so I'm just going to score that a couple of times, and I'll be able to bend it and see how it fits on the building. So, with that being said, let's get some tools over here. Oh, by the way, I picked up a set of stainless steel rulers. There's a 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch, let's see, 10-inch, 8-inch, 14-inch, 12-inch. Yeah, there's a lot of, and a 6-inch. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing some of this stuff, you could check it out on my Amazon page. Anyhow, we're going to go ahead and scribe this. I need to make sure that I'm exactly point to point. So when I bend it, it'll be even on both sides. So it's not going to take very much to do this. Couple of maybe three or four swipes, because this is like 40 thousandths. I'm making it extra thick because, like I said, this is probably going to be a self-supporting roof, and he'll be able to take it off if he wants to. So at least that's my aim, is to get that so he'll be able to take it off, but who knows? We'll see what happens here. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, let's see if we can bend easily. And there you go. So now I'll take this guy out of the way. And I will bring the builder over here. And this is the part we're going to do right here. Let me see if I can turn this around a bit so you can see it better. So this is the roof we just cut out. Is for this section right here. So I know I have to do some trim work under here. There is a siding strip under here for that's going to be the support for the fascia. So I know I need to trim that down when I put this side in. But let's see how it goes. I need to turn it around this way, guys. So maybe I can do this. I can take the camera and move the camera over. Let's see. Let me get that backed out. There you go. Go back this in here. I still want to turn it around a bit more. All right. So the object is for me to get this under the roof, just like that. And that, my friends, looks a lot better than what it was. And like I said, I still need to do a little bit of trimming on the sides here just to make sure it fits properly. Make sure I've got a good flush fit onto this roof. And eventually what's going to happen is this guy will go under there. And so that's how it's going to be. So now my next object is to get it trimmed down on the edges here so it fits perfect, and then we can start putting this back together again. This is definitely a trial and error build for me, guys. And this little space that you might see right here, there'll be a molding that goes all the way across. Something similar to this guy will be going across here like this, all the way around the entire structure here and here. And so we'll see how this is going to work out. All right, I think that's going to be all for this video, because I have a lot more of these roof sections to do. So I'll bring you back. I'll do the next video when I have all the roof sections completed, and then start putting some of the brick on this and get this building finished. Anyhow, as always, your questions, comments, input, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome. For now, that's all, folks. BNSF 6951 out. Talk to you guys later. Bye.